In my humble opinion, the Pokemon trading card game is the best TCG out there. It is fun, it is accessible, it is easy to learn and hard to master. But that doesn't mean that the competitive scene is perfect, and in fact there are a few changes I would make, and if Pokemon put me in charge, there are several changes that I would make. So today I'm going to be going over my 5 biggest changes I think the Pokemon TCG needs in 2023. And the first one, and probably the biggest one in my opinion, is the prizing needs updated. There actually was a big prizing overhaul in 2017 where prizing got juiced all the way up from pretty much nothing to where it is today, and yeah, pricing has not changed at all since then, despite entry fees climbing all the way, climbing very close to $100 just for regional championships. And then of course everything in the world's gotten way more expensive, with hotels and gas and rentals all being extremely expensive. So I just think that, I mean, if you win a regional championships as a master, you only get $5,000. I know $5,000 is a lot, but if you just look down, top 32 only gets $250, and most regionals are having significantly more than 32 players making the second day, and $250 is not even going to put a dent in most players' travel costs. So it's just pretty hard to justify playing Pokemon cards, at least for the cash rewards, because if you're just like, if your entry fee alone is costing you close to $100, and then you throw in all your other food and transportation and lodging, it adds up quite quickly. So I feel like especially like Pokemon is a billion-dollar company. Like they have the cash behind it. Like we see how many Pokemon cards they're selling every year. So they have the money. I feel like juicing up the cash pricing would be very nice, and also the CP, because back in the day in 2017, the biggest regional was usually Collinsville with 600 to 700 players, but now regionals are consistently over the 1,000 mark, and the game is only growing. So with only two, like you're telling me that a player who wins a regional with over 1,000 people only gets 200 points, which doesn't even put them very close at all to their Worlds invite. They deserve to be at least invited to the day one of the World Championships. And how I would fix this is probably put like a kicker or a modifier of, like, if a regional hits a certain number of players, the pricing automatically gets escalated. And I know some people from Australia or from Latin America might get upset with this just because their tournaments don't have a ton of players. But I think it's only fair that if your tournaments are bigger and you're willing to go to the bigger events, you should, like the pricing for a 1,500 player regional should not be the same as a 200 player regional. So that's just my opinion. The second one is, I think there should be more alternate formats. And right now there's just standard. Before there were a few expanded regionals mixed in, but expanded has been a largely neglected format, with it pretty much being dead, with all this stupid donk and control decks running around. No one really cares about the expanded format right now. And I feel like this would help the game, because towards the end of formats, the format gets stale and people like sort of lose interest in the Pokemon trading card game. But if there are other formats like expanded or even gym leader challenge to give people something else to test or just be interested in, I think it would be overall great for the health of the game, because it wouldn't just be someone testing for their locals or the one regional they're going to attend per quarter, and then just putting Pokemon down for a couple months. They actually might be able to get people to keep playing and stay interested, and just be overall pretty good for the health of the game. This one, I really like this to happen. Number 3 is, I love for there to be official online tourneys, and I know some people like gasp when they see this. Like they can't imagine having official sanctioned online tournaments, which they've had before with the Players' Cups, the team challenges. What I mean is online events that either could award CP or travel awards or something like that. And I know players just don't, like, especially top players, are like, if you want CP, if you want to chase Worlds invite, then just come here to the big events. And I'm not saying you can buy a Worlds invite if you have enough money, but it certainly helps to have a large amount of capital to be able to travel to all these events. So I think even if they just made it so every player who reached Arceus rank got invited to like a invitational style tournament, like top 8 won a travel award to the closest IC. I think that'd be really cool for the game, because if you're just a player who only really has the means to play online, you're still a good player, but you don't really have the finances or the time to be able to travel and do all that involves, comes with being a pro Pokemon player. For number 4, I'd really like Pokemon to bring back state championships. And if you weren't around back when states existed, Pre-2017, states were tournaments. There was one in every 50 state. There were some in all the provinces in Canada too, and there might have been some in Europe, but I'm not 100% certain on that, so don't quote me. But you got like 100 CP for first place. There's like a best finish limit of 2, if I remember correctly. And for example, if you lived in New York, you could go to like the states of New Jersey. It didn't have to be just the state you resided in. And I feel like this would be, honestly, I'd like this to replace special events, because special events have just CP prizing, and there is no cash. So pretty much like the players with the deepest pockets get to go to those events and can get CP. And states would sort of fill that void to where if you were just a local level player, you could still travel to one of these for fairly, or for not too much money, and still get a large amount of CP if you were good enough. But it wouldn't just be like a quote-unquote pay-to-win. I hate using that word in this community because it's just overused in esports in general. But I just think it would be a step up from just those cities or league cups or league challenges. It maybe would help people, like if they saw that they could do well in states, they might be more encouraged to play in regionals and then internationals, and just help people move up the ladder. I just think it'd be great of integrating those more casual players as competitive players. And finally, the big one. This one might be a bit controversial, but I think they should make ptcg stable. Hopefully, this new like Twin Leaf client that Dan TDM and all them are working on actually will give ptcg a run for its money, so Pokemon will wake up and realize that, hey, we gotta do something here. But there's a lot of holes with ptcg. I mean, there's really no redeeming quality of it over ptcgo other than crafting and accessibility. Everything else about the game is a strict downgrade, in my opinion. But what do you guys think of my changes? Is there anything that you would add, anything you disagree with? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. I post stuff like this fairly frequently, so if you're a competitive Pokemon TCG player, I got you here on this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and it's been Alloutblitzle, and I'll catch you in the next one.